March 1981, 25-year-old John Hinckley has just shot President Ronald Reagan and 3 others. His motive, to impress Hollywood actress Jodie Foster by imitating the actions of a character played by her co-star Robert De Niro in the film Taxi Driver. A year later, a jury found him not guilty by reason of insanity. They said he needed treatment, not a lifetime behind bars. That verdict caused widespread dismay, and now Hinckley may soon be free. On Wednesday, a court will start to consider if he should be released from the mental hospital where he's been treated for over 3 decades. Hinckley's already experienced some freedom, and now he can stay for up to 17 days per month with his mother in Virginia. His lawyers and doctors have testified that Hinckley has become a low-danger risk, but prosecutors and the American public have consistently opposed his release, raising the question, after being detained for 34 years, is he truly ready for life on the outside?
Let's get more on this from Washington, D.C. Quentin Wilber, who's journalist and author of Rawhide Down, the near assassination of Ronald Reagan. Thanks for joining us on Sky News tonight. Now, you've followed this very closely for a number of years. Of course, we've got these hearings starting on Wednesday. How likely is it, after all these years, that he gets total freedom?
You know, that's a really interesting question. I think that we've tracked this case and the progression of Hinckley's freedoms going back to 2006. That's when a federal judge here who weighs this issue first gave him more freedom from St. Elizabeth's Hospital, where, you know, as you said, he's been confined since 1982 when he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. At each step in the judicial process, St. Elizabeth's has come forward with Hinckley's attorneys and said he needs a bit more freedom. He needs more time at home. He needs to be able to drive a car. We need to reintegrate him into society, because that is the charge of the hospital with all their patients, and they've been doing that. Federal prosecutors, on the other hand, have said, hey, wait a minute, no, he's not ready. And at each step, they have fought a lot of those motions and those arguments by the other side. Over time, we've gone from 10-day visits to 17-day visits, and now the hospital has again put forward a petition. It's under seal. We don't know what they're going to ask for. We presume they're going to ask for more than they did last time, which was 24-day stays. So they could ask for, you know, complete convalescent leave, like we've washed our hands with him, he's done, send him to Williamsburg forever. Or it could be more like the conditional release that we've seen recently, where they go, you know, we would like to transfer even more of his care to psychiatrists and facilities in Williamsburg, where he lives with his mother most of the time now, 17 days a month, as you noted. He's done 12 of these visits since the last order back in 2013, and we'd like to do more of that. But maybe it's a month-long visit, maybe it's a 2-month-long visit. We don't know. We don't know yet. Prosecutors historically have fought this, and they've raised questions. One, the standard Hinckley's judged under is the danger to himself or others. And the hospital says no. Prosecutors say yes. I mean, how can a guy, he has all these issues at the hospital, all these personal problems, you know, he's lied on, been deceitful. How do we trust him? A man who shot the president, severely wounded Jim Brady, the press secretary. Jim Brady died last year. His death ruled a homicide because of Hinckley's bullet. It eventually killed him. And Sarah Brady, his wife, just died. So, you know, this is a very complicated issue that the judge is going to have to untangle, not just after 1 day of hearings, but we're going to hear from psychiatric witnesses. We're going to hear from, you know, maybe hear from Hinckley's family and others over the course of several days. And the judge will weigh this and write an order, an opinion, either denying it, granting it, you know, kind of finding his own way to figure out how to make this work, you know, months from now.
And, of course, on top of that, we have public opinion as well, don't we? Because it was hugely controversial when that verdict was delivered, over 34 years ago, that that plea of insanity was accepted. And that changed the way, wasn't it, that insanity was actually viewed as a justification. What kind of role will that play?
You know, I think this judge has been pretty, you know, he has a lifetime appointment. I can't see him really caring one way or another what public opinion says. I think that, you know, he's definitely taken these stances. You know, 17 days a month, Hinckley's without direct hospital supervision in Williamsburg. I mean, he is. So he's already taken those steps. I think you're right about public opinion. It's really interesting. You know, that if John Hinckley did this today, he'd be convicted. Because after this shooting, the standard of proof changed. Hinckley raised the defense of insanity by reason of insanity in 1982, and it was incumbent upon the government, the prosecutors, to prove no, he was sane. Now it's flipped. And I don't think he would get through it today. I think John Hinckley would spend the rest of his life in bars. Interestingly enough, if he had been convicted back then, he'd probably already be released today. So he's been confined longer than he would have. If convicted today, he'd be confined for life.
Interesting point. Del Quentin Wilber, it's great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us at Sky News tonight.